So in 1649, England became a republic country. Republic country, as I told you, is the form of government in which the power of ruling rests with the people. The people will elect the leader of the country, and that leader will in turn rule the people. Okay. After forming the republic government in England, it did not work successfully for many years. What happened? There were issues arising in the parliament, and the parliament could not rule the kingdom properly. Then what happened? In 1688 CE, the parliament requested the king. The name of the king was William of Orange. And his wife Mary. William of Orange's wife Mary was the granddaughter of Charles I. Charles I was the last king of Tudor dynasty. Stuart dynasty. I told you before, no? So these two people were called again by the parliament in 1688 to occupy the throne. Throne means the power of the government. So the parliament requested the King William of Orange to come back and start re-establish, means start ruling again in England as a kingdom. So after these two people were invited by the parliament to rule England, what they did not give full powers to the king. The parliament also kept some powers with them, and they gave some powers to the king. Okay, so the parliament has the right to make questions, to ask questions to the king. Not like before, not like when James and Charles were ruling the kingdom. So parliament also kept the right of asking questions and making the king answerable to the parliament. Making king answerable to the parliament means when he makes a new law, then when the king makes a new law, the king should be able to prove that law is good for the people in front of parliament. So that is making the king answerable. So then they established a new form of government. New form of government which is called constitutional monarchy. So this is very important keyword. You need to know these types of governments, so which will be helpful in your future. So constitutional monarchy is a type of government in which the king rules but with limited powers granted by parliament. So that power of king also is not given by God like before. It is given by parliament only. The parliament only will give the power to the king to rule the country. But making it, so that power also is very limited. So I told you the king is answerable to the parliament. So this limited powers to the king, which is prescribed or written in the constitution. So how the government should function, who has how many powers, who has what powers, all those things are written in the constitution. You know constitution, no? That is a book in which all the laws and rules of working of the country or ruling the country is written. So in this William of Orange and Mary, William of Orange was the king. So that king had limited powers, and parliament also had some powers. So in that type of government was called constitutional monarchy. Monarchy means the rule of king, one king. So the rule of one king with the help and with the rules given by the constitution is called constitutional monarchy. Okay. I hope you understood what is constitutional monarchy. If you didn't understand, I will explain it again. So, when in 1688 constitutional monarchy, that is a type of government, was established in England, so that is the first step of introducing democracy, or first step towards the changing of government from king's rule to democratic form of government. So, as in this chapter I told you how the forms of government got transformed into democratic governments. So this England becoming a constitutional monarchy in 1688 is the first step towards changing the England government into a democratic government. So all this process, the change of government from kingdom into constitutional monarchy and constitutional monarchy into democracy, all this happened without any violence. There was not a single blood drop that fall on the ground. There was no bloodshed, there was no violence, nobody killed each other, nobody injured each other. So this was not a revolution or a war that happened with violence. That is why it is also called bloodless revolution. So glorious revolution is also called as bloodless revolution. Why it is called as glorious revolution then? Glory means becoming famous or becoming respectful. Okay, so because this transformation, that is this change, did happen without any violence, and it happened in a very smooth way. That is why it is also called as glorious revolution. Glory means becoming famous. It did not have any bloodshed and violence, no. So it became all famous in all around the world. Then people came to know that we can fight wars like this also. We don't need to use weapons and kill each other for achieving something. So that is what people came to realize. People started thinking about this. So that is how it became famous. That is why it is also called as glorious revolution and bloodless revolution. So after this glorious revolution, the England government started establishing or started the working of House of Commons. Like in India, we have a parliament with two houses, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. I hope you all know that. So in England, the parliament also has two houses. So the first house is House of Commons. So the House of Commons was started in after this glorious revolution. So the House of Commons is like Lok Sabha in India. In Lok Sabha, who all will get elected? The common people, the representatives of ours. So like Lok Sabha, the House of Commons, in the name only it is there, commons, that is common people. So the common people can get elected to the House of Commons. So there is one other house in British Parliament, that is House of Lords. It is like Rajya Sabha. In that House of Lords, intellectuals and very famous leaders or great educationists and scientists, all of them will get elected to Rajya Sabha. So, sorry, not Rajya Sabha, the House of Lords. So, House of Commons came into existence, that means has started working after the glorious revolution. So, the right to vote for the House of Commons, that means who all can vote for the leaders who wanted to go to House of Commons. So that is the right to vote given to the people. But first it was not given to all the people. Like now in India we have all adults who are 18 plus, who are above the age of 18, they can go and vote for all kinds of elections. But though after Glorious Revolution, all people were not given the right to vote. First, for some years, only middle class people and the people who had property, middle class and rich people, only these two people were, groups of people were given the right to vote for House of Commons. So later on in some years, this right to vote was given to different sections of people, not only middle class, not only rich and poor. There, instead of without any discrimination, the right to vote was given to different sections of people. So gradually, like that, like slowly, it started. The right to vote started extending, that is coming to all sections of people and all adults. Adults means who are above 18 years of age. So all the adults got right to vote. So all of them had the right to vote for the representatives of House of Commons. So all the adults, the right to vote was extended to all the adults by 1928 Common Era. So by the year 1928, all the people who are above 18 years got the right to vote in England. So this by 1928, the parliamentary democracy was formed in England. So I already told you what democracy means. So the parliamentary democracy means the form of government in which the elected representatives are working in a parliament. So parliament means House of Representatives. Representatives means the leaders who people elect. So that is the parliament, no? So that House of representatives will rule the people instead of people only. Democracy is a government for the people, by the people and of the people. So the type of government in which the people elect the representatives and those representatives will work in a parliament is called parliamentary democratic form of government. So this is all the process of changing England from kingdom into a democratic government. We have completed how England transformed or changed from a different form of government into a democratic form of government, and we have studied about how the democratic revolution, the civil war and the glorious revolution happened in England. I hope everything is clear. I hope you all understood what I taught you. If there are any doubts, you can message or call to Soumya teacher's number. I will explain to you the concepts which you did not understand, and if all the students ask me to explain, I will explain the whole concept once again if you have any doubts. Okay? So in the next class we will see the next topic, that is American independence. So for today's class this is enough, and if you all have textbooks, please read the textbook once. If you have the textbook, it's okay, otherwise it is available as a PDF on Google also. So go search for it. If you get the textbook, you read the questions, and there are questions in a yellow box that you don't need to write in exams or learn for exams, but that is very important for you to answer for yourself, to understand the concept more clearly. So if you read those questions and if you are able to answer, your all doubts will be cleared automatically. If you are able to give correct answers, or if you are able to think of that answer, your concept will be clear and you will not have any doubts. If you have any doubts, I will be available. Thank you.